Okay, so yeah, I just got out of the hands-on event here in London. I can see that's the London Bridge right behind me. It was a fun field event. I enjoyed every bit of it. Had time to really hold the devices, test them, use them. My first impressions are this. The Z Fold 8 wide is going to be the star of the future. Okay, so I just got back from the event, back to my friend's place. And like I said in the short video I made at the front of the venue, it was a fun event, having to personally test out and use this device for hours, before they are launched, and just seeing what's new, what's improved, what's different. But then, like I said, the Z Fold 8 wide is obviously the star of the show. Everybody wanted to see it, wanted to see what it felt like because of the new form factor, the new design. It's just something new and exciting to talk about. Now, personally, I think it's not just the star of the show, but it's going to be the star of the future. Because when I first picked it up, it wasn't as big as I expected. It is smaller, it's way more compact. And for the first time, I completely felt like I'm in control of a foldable phone. Let me explain why. You see, if you use a foldable phone, then there's always this fear or this confidence of using it just about anywhere, any place, anytime. When you have so many things in your hands, or you're trying to like jump buses, or you're trying to get into the train as fast as possible, you always make sure you secure it, because not only is it very expensive, it is also very fragile. So there's that feeling you get always that you can't just play around with this phone just about anywhere, anytime. But once I held the Z Fold 8 wide, that fear was completely erased. I don't have the big hands, like the biggest hands out there, but I felt so much in control when I held it. I could open it, I could close it without thinking, without having this fear factor of it falling down. So generally, the form factor I feel is just way more better than what you're going to have with this, this type of designs with the Z Fold 8 Ultra, which I will talk more about very soon. And also, as I was just using it, I found myself holding it not just comfortably with one hand, but also able to reach across the different sides of the display much easily. What is even more impressive is that Samsung was able to achieve some of this without making huge compromises. The outer display is still a full 6.5 inches dynamic AMOLED panel with 120 Hz refresh rate. The peak brightness gets to as high as 3000 nits, making it really usable outdoors. And then it comes with this new feature that Samsung calls the Outdoor Vision Booster, which does, like the name sounds, just help to boost that visibility when you're using it outdoors. It also has the anti-reflective coating and a bunch of other really nice specs that I'm going to list on the screen when it comes to Samsung display. Now, once you open it up, you're greeted with a gorgeous 7.6 inches main display that just feels as immersive as ever. Yeah, now despite all of this, the phone weighs just around 201 grams, making it one of the lightest foldable devices ever made by Samsung. Now, when you turn to the back, you're going to find two cameras. We have a 50 megapixel main camera along with a 50 megapixel ultra wide cameras. There is no dedicated telephoto lens, which is a deal breaker for anybody who may want to use it as a single device. At least for me, I don't know for you. But I think one of the main reasons is Samsung just trying to prioritize lightweight for the phone and making sure it is not as close to the Ultra when it comes to camera capabilities. You also get a 4800 mAh battery inside it, paired with a much faster 45 watts charging, which is a very welcome development because I've always complained about the fact that Samsung Foldables charges too slowly. Now let's go to the second foldable phone that was announced, the Z Fold 8 Ultra. Now, this is obviously Samsung top of the line foldable, and judging by the name alone, it definitely sits above the Z Fold 8 wide. Naturally, that means my expectations for it were really high. Once you have Ultra to the name of a phone, you expect the best in terms of everything. But then after I compared the specs and just spent time with the two phones, I mean the Z Fold 8 wide and the Ultra, I think there are more similarities than differences between the two. The three main differences I could isolate there is the fact that you're getting bigger size display, obviously, more capable camera system because of that 10 megapixel dedicated telephoto lens in the Z Fold 8 Ultra, and then slightly bigger battery. It's just slightly because it's 4800 for the Z Fold 8 wide and 5000 for the Z Fold 8 Ultra. Now, both phones are powered by the same Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 for Galaxy processor, paired with up to 16 gigs of RAM, and up to 1 TB of internal storage. So when it comes to performance, there is nothing to be worried about. You get the best as you would expect from flagship true and true from Samsung. One improvement I would say they also made with the Z Fold 8 Ultra is the bump in terms of the battery. We now have a 5000 mAh battery as against the 4400 we have in the Z Fold 7 and 4800 in the Z Fold 8 wide. So what that means is that you definitely will get better battery life, but I'm going to like reserve my final judgment for when I finally get it and use it and see how much difference it is when you compare it to the Z Fold 7 and the Z Fold 8 wide. Now, another thing that immediately like stood out for me when I held the Z Fold 8 Ultra and the Z Fold 8 wide along with my Z Fold 7 is the new crease. You know, not too long before the launch, Samsung talked about the new titanium flex technology for their displays, where they kind of like introduced titanium alloy film to their displays to make it not just more durable, more stronger, but also to make the crease less visible. And yeah, when I held these three foldables together, you can see that there is less visibility in the crease of the Z Fold 8 Ultra when compared to the Z Fold 7. But is the crease completely gone? No, because if you are really peeping, you're really looking, you want to see, you're trying to see it, you're going to see it. It's there, but it is not as visible as the Z Fold 7. And I think that is really good because the crease has been one of the biggest issues with most people buying foldable phones. They just feel it makes it less durable, so they rather not spend so much money to buy something they can't be guaranteed when it comes to durability. Also, every fold in the lineup, and I'm including the flip, now charges at 45 watts. So the Z Fold 8 Ultra charges at 45 watts, which is a good improvement. But still, no S Pen support for both of them. It still baffles me how a productivity device like this two will not come with S Pen support. Now let's talk about the Z Flip 8, which, well, that was the first time I'm actually holding a flip phone, like using it for hours, testing it, seeing how it feels like in my hands. The last time I used a flip phone was Sagem, like, you know, it's been crazy long ago. But I would say with the Z Flip 8, Samsung made 3 huge changes, or I think even 4. The first has to be the fact that it is now lighter than ever and slimmer too. It weighs just about 108 grams and measures just 6.1 millimeters when it's unfolded, making it, like I said, Samsung's lightest flip phone ever. They also use the new advanced armor aluminum frame for better durability against scratches and dents. And then the hinge is now more durable than ever before, so you can flip open and close it as long as you want. It's now more durable than the Z Flip 7 of last year. The second thing they improved on is the cover display. No, the size is still the same like the Z Flip 7 because they basically used up all of the whole outer display. What they improved on this time around is the experience you get using the outer display. They try to make sure that you get almost similar experience using the outer display as compared to using the inner display. So what they did now is to make it way more functional than before. One of the things they talked about in the demo is that you can now have access to even more applications on the outer display, so you can just open them and use them, more applications. And secondly, you can now activate Gemini from the outer display, so you can have conversations with AI right there and then. So what that means is that you only get to flip it open when you actually need to flip it open, which I think most flip users will appreciate, because you know those awkward moments where you want to do something as quickly as possible but you can't do it with the outer display. Well, now it supports even more applications and many more functionalities. And then we have the cameras too. It's not improved in terms of hardware. You still get the same 50 megapixel main cameras and I think 10 megapixel ultra wide and 12 megapixels front-facing cameras, you know. But what they improved on is in terms of functionality, in terms of software, and that's basically horizontal lock. You know, one of the biggest flex with flip phones is the camcorder, the way you can use your flip phone like a camcorder, or the way you can just bend it and put it down like a tripod and use the back cameras and still be able to see yourself, which is quite great, you know. But this time around, you now have even better stability when you're recording videos on the go, thanks to horizontal lock, which is a feature that was introduced not too long ago with the S26 Ultras. And now it's not in the flip phone, so you can be able to have next level stability when you're recording videos. There is a lot of other features that they talked about in the event, which I will personally have to test and explain to you guys to see how it works and if it is actually useful, in my opinion. So after spending all of those time with the Chewy foldable phones, here is my overall impressions. I think they are all excellent devices that are geared towards particular audience or particular set of people. We have the Z Fold 8 Wide, which I think is going to appeal to more people because it just feels better when you hold it in your hands. You still get the foldable experience without that fear of using a foldable phone because it's now so compact. It fits into your hands very well. You can hold it as firm as possible, like you're holding a regular phone. And then you have all of the immersive experience of foldable phones, which is quite great. So I feel it's going to be better for those who consume content a whole lot. You know, I think that is like the major target for it. And you get best chipset, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. So in terms of performance, you're very much covered. So you're getting top experience from a very well compact and put together phone. The second is the Z Fold 8 Ultra, which is obviously for the best who want the best in terms of everything: better cameras, bigger battery, bigger display, just name it. Those who have extra money to spend. And then there's the Z Flip 8, which is for those who love flips. Now here are the confirmed prices for all of the phones. We have the Z Fold 8 Ultra starting at $2,100. We have the Z Fold 8 Wide starting at $1,900. And we have the Z Flip 8 starting at $1,200. Now, these are just my first impressions, what I thought about. Immediately, I saw the phones and used them and just play around with them. They are not in any way detailed. More detailed reviews will be coming in the channel, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out when I post it. And of course, thanks so much for watching up to this moment. Don't forget to like this video and share it. I'll catch you in the next one.